Where would you go if you won a Vacay Your Way? You could set it up. What about you, Misty? You're on His Radio.
I would go to Prince Edward Island in Canada because I've always loved Anne of Green Gables. They're my favorite books and movies, and it's such a beautiful place. I've always wanted to go there and see it. And I love y'all, and I love y'all's radio station, and I hope y'all have a blessed day.
Oh, thank you, Misty.
So
I hope
sweet.
you do win. Anna Green Gables?
Yeah, Anne of Green Gables. It's I think it's a couple that wanted to adopt a little boy, and instead they got a redheaded, feisty little girl, and so then it's their adventures as a
Ninja
family.
said she read the book.
Did you read the book?
I didn't read the book.
But
I
you
know
watched
of
the
book.
movie.
I did. I'm very much a watch the movie instead of the book
and then
type
do
of
the
person.
report.
What grade did you get? Let me ask you that.
Yeah.
She's like, no comment.
Yeah. No comment.
Don't tell my mom.
Okay, we won't tell your mom, although she was your teacher.
Exactly.
All right, so you could win a Vacay Your Way. Misty would go to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Vacay Your Way, you win it when we do the drawing on October 19th.
Yeah, and it's so easy to get in on, so you can pre-register now until October 19th. You can go online to hisradio.com, tap the My His Radio app.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
George and Erling got what I would have to say is probably their first jobs when they were obviously teenagers, probably late teens, and that was at Walt Disney World. They started seeing some advertisements that Walt Disney, the guy was looking for some employees.
I mean, what's their names?
George and Erling. Sounds like a country song.
It sounds like a country song, but I'm going to say they've been there for probably at least 30, 40 years.
No.
Disney's been around for 50.
50 years. They were there
For real.
since the beginning. 1971, I think, is when
No way.
Disney opened their doors. These two were some of the first employees. They watched it all kind of happen from the ground up because, Walt Disney said, well, before we even open the doors, obviously we got to have staff. We got to train them. We got to tell them what our vision is. And George and Erling, now there's others that have been there since day one, but those are the two that really were telling their story about just how kind of cool it was and the changes that they've seen over the years.
They've seen changes because it started with a castle.
Right.
And then all this other stuff built up around it.
I mean, Animal Kingdom didn't even open until
No.
the 90s, possibly.
Oh, the 90s.
Well, I'm questioning because I don't know for
see.
sure. But
You're
yeah.
close, yeah.
Okay, so they've been around since the beginning, and Disney, I think, celebrated their 50th anniversary just this past weekend. So
To have the same job for 50 years is quite remarkable. Honestly.
Yeah, the
right?
longest job I've had is like 12, 13 years. You've been here, what?
For 20. Well, I've been with this whole company, this ministry, I should say. It's not a company, it's a ministry, since 89.
See?
So,
I mean, that's a feat in of itself. I
yes.
mean, that's you got to pat yourself on
I've
the
been
back
here a
for that.
long time. I'm going to go find a rocking chair.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
So here's this whole fishing crew in Maine, and their main goal is they get lobster. This is the year that you're licensed to be able to get lobster. They do that in nets. They went to pull their net out the other day, and there's tuna in it. A 600-pound tuna stuck in their net. So they did everything to try to save the tuna because it's not seasoned for tuna, nor do they have the license for it. And it was just so wrapped up in that net that the tuna didn't survive. So instead of just throwing it back into sea, they thought, there's the soup kitchen in town that feeds the homeless. Let's give the tuna to them. Let's just prepare it, fix it all up, and donate it to the soup kitchen. And sure enough, they did. And they have all this beautiful tuna that they can feed the homeless with.
I mean, tuna steak, that costs a lot.
It does.
So that's not normal fare that they would get in this shelter, which is pretty cool. But I didn't know that you could do that if it was out of season. I guess I never thought, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
If you can't throw it back, obviously.
It didn't survive, and so they were able to do that.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
You know what? God just provided all those meals for all of those people that they wouldn't have normally had.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
Please know this. When you give a gift to His Radio because we're listener supported, you are helping to share the love of Jesus with others.
I just pulled over on the side of the road, and I want to thank you for being on the air. I've been listening to you for at least 15 years, and
You have changed my heart, and I don't leave my house without this on my radio when I go somewhere in my car. Oh, my goodness. You guys have saved me in so many ways. Not you, but my Lord Jesus Christ has saved me. So thank you. Thank you so much. And may God be with you always.
Oh, thank you so
Wow.
much. Pulling over to the side of the road just to share that message means so much. And you can hear the emotion knowing that your gift of support shares the hope of Jesus with others.
Yeah, if you have been giving your gift of support, you reached into her heart. You could hear it in her voice as her voice was cracking when she was saying what meeting Jesus means to her, and you can help others do that.
There's a very important Shareathon that's coming up in just over a week. It starts on Tuesday the 19th. We're just 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from the Shareathon. Would you pray about giving a gift of support? And when you do that and hear that answer from God, go ahead and give your gift even now and give a huge jumpstart to Shareathon that's coming up. And know this, you'll be sharing the hope of Jesus with others. Several ways that you can give. One is texting the word give to 800-447-7234. You can go to hisradio.com or even tap on the My His Radio app. And again, with Shareathon coming up, know this fact. Your gift is going to share the hope of Jesus with others.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
They're making this change to maybe one of your favorite stores. That mean they're going to have to change the name to His Morning Crew with Rob and Liz, His radio.
Well, you're going to be spending more change, more dime, more nickels, because the Dollar Tree said, oh, we're going to raise our prices.
How's that work? So it's Dollar's Tree now?
Dollars, lots of dollars. Well, when you walk into a Dollar Tree, not everything's a buck in there anyway.
Is it not? I thought it was.
No, because you can buy things that are just a little bit more than $1. Like I forgot towels at a church camp one day.
Okay.
So I get all the way there and I don't have a towel. I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I found a Dollar Tree.
Okay.
And I bought some towels. And I think it was maybe $5 or under $10
See,
to get a thing. Do you go to the Dollar Tree? Because
I do.
I
But
go from time to time. Not everything's $1 in there.
I thought it was either $1 or like you could get soda or something like 2 for $1 or something like that, 2 for $1, but nothing over $1.
Yeah, so the Dollar Tree CEO said, they'll have some price points that'll be a little bit more than $1, and we'll bring some premium things in because people want to get some other stuff too. So they'll still be a cheap place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the $1.50 tree. Something like that.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I wonder how you would react the next time you go to the grocery store, you get all your groceries, you're at the cash register, and they look at you and say, just pay what you feel you should pay. It's Rob and Liz, His Morning Crew on His Radio.
I think it'd be awesome if that happened, but it's not just for everybody. This happening in Vancouver where they have an awful lot. And you know what? This is around the world. We waste a lot of food.
So true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of waste that's going on from a lot of people.
Yeah. So in restaurants and in grocery stores, they can only keep it so long and then they have to move it along. So it started showing up at landfills and people said, wait a minute, that food is still good. We need to figure out a way to take care of this.
So they made a rescued food market. And literally they say, hey, if you're food insecure in your family, if you're looking to reduce the environmental impact of what's going on, this grocery store says it's for you. And so it's the Food Stash Foundation. I love the name of that. The Food Stash Foundation for the Rescue Food Market. And what they say is, just pay what you feel. At this moment, because there's some people who can't pay full price. Others who could probably do a little bit more. And it really helps out the cause, which is cool.
Yeah, and you can even go to the supermarket a couple of hours a day. They're open for about 3 hours a day. But they said just at this one, what they understand in the surrounding area, it's like 70,000 pounds of food would have gone to waste had it not been for this new supermarket.
And it's still good stuff.
It is. I don't mind, eating stale bread. I really don't, because you can make other things out of it.
So I kid you not. It was just about a week ago. I grabbed a green tea out of somebody's thermos.
Yeah.
Or not thermos. What do you call cooler? So I was out of somebody's cooler, and I went, "Oh, look at this!" And I drank it, and I went, "Oh, this kind of tastes funny." And they said, "Well, check the date. It was last October."
Yeah, that might be a little far to wait, but
Yeah, I felt that the rest of the weekend.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
2 weeks away from tomorrow, somebody, and it might as well be you, will win a His Radio Vacay Your Way. I wonder how you would set up your very own vacation. Mason is here. What about you, Mason?
I want to take a trip to Japan because I train in jiu-jitsu and katana and would love to go see a country where it originates from and see all what it's like to be in Japan. And I also would love to take my wife as well and be able to show her all the cool and interesting things that Japan has to offer.
I love that. And one thing that I've learned is I don't want to make you mad.
No, exactly. He's been trained.
Yes, you have, Mason. You have been trained. So you know what Mason wants to do with a Vacay Your Way. If he wins it, what about you? You can let us know on the open mic on the My HISRadio app or call 866-447-7234 and let us know as well. And somebody's going to win it. It might as well be you.
And it's so easy to get involved in. You just text the word vacay. We tried to make it really easy for you. So vacay to 800-447-7234. You can tap the My HISRadio app or go to hisradio.com and get pre-registered.
Giving that away the very first day of our Shareathon, which is October 19th. No gift is required. Call on that day will get you registered. But if you give your gift today, you'll automatically be registered to win the Vacay Your Way.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I have some of these like cards that were made for me when my kids were little. I have one now of my granddaughter with just her feet print, on a card. So usually they can be super sweet every now and then because kids are brutally honest. One will say things that you don't necessarily like to hear, but maybe you need to. So there was a little 5-year-old girl that evidently had a project. She had to write a poem for her parents, and she chose her dad. And here's how it goes. He has a beard, and he is really weird. My dad is really small, and his head is like a ball. His ears are big, and I think he needs a wig. My dad is crazy, and in the mornings he's lazy. He has a big belly, and he's very smelly. I love my dad. He's a lovely lad. So she kind of threw him under the bus, like at the very beginning.
She's
but at the
5,
end,
by the way.
She brought it home at the end and said, I do love him, though.
Yeah, at least she loves how smelly and tiny and everything else he is.
But I know that they are cracking up. One of my favorite things that kids did is the teachers would give them a story, but they would leave, it was almost like Mad Libs. They'd leave certain things out, and the kids had to fill it out about the mom or the dad. Like she makes a recipe, and she turns it on how many degrees? 4,000. And she leaves it in the oven for, 3 minutes. And it gets cooked. I love that kind of thing. Kids do this.
Which stuff does your mom still have of yours?
Oh, my goodness. I know that there's a report card that she still has.
Mm-hmm.
She has a baby book that has like a lock of my hair in it and that kind of thing. I think my dad was more the one to keep that kind of thing, so I don't even know where it is.
Ah.
I know.
It'd be interesting to go through that stuff.
I know. Do
I
you
don't-
have any? Like of your kids?
My kids? Yeah, we have a few of my kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But what about you? What does your mom and dad have of yours that they still keep or you have around of your kids when they're just a tad bit younger? Let us know. 800-447-7234.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So this 5-year-old girl writes a poem for class about dad, and in the poem she says he has a belly and he's smelly. It rhymes, right?
That's what she was going for, I guess.
Well, she did a good job. 800-447-7234. Here's what we're thinking. The things that your parents or maybe you have saved throughout the years of the childhood.
Yeah, Tiffany texted and said, my grandma still has my dad's old cast from when he broke his arm when he was a kid.
Grandma.
That thing is smelly
Really?
after
Right? But all the signatures on it?
Yeah, it's very
That's what I'm
cool.
thinking.
Sharon said, I have recently given my kids the outfits that they wore home from the hospital. I love that.
No way. Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I have Taylor's, my daughter's outfit that she wore home too. So that's very cool. Tess texted and said, I still have my first movie ticket. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. And then she said, okay, it was from Iron Man 2. And I was 3 months old.
Oh, really, Tess? Great.
She's 11 years old now, and she and her sister are in the car listening to us. So Tess and Lola, thank you so much.
They even sent a picture.
Yes, they did. They're
Beautiful.
so cute.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Karami is here at 800-447-7234. What is it for you?
Christmas ornament. My mom, like when we were in kindergarten, we always used to make Christmas ornaments every year all throughout elementary school, and she has kept every single one, and she still, to this day, I'm 23, and she still puts them on our tree.
What is your favorite one she has on the tree of yours that you made?
It's like a glitter handprint of mine. It's so little, but it's so cute.
What do you remember about making it?
I just remember always loving Christmas and doing the little arts and crafts during school and stuff. That was my favorite time of the year.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So this 5-year-old girl writes a poem for class about Dad, and in the poem she says he has a belly and he's smelly. It rhymes, right?
That's what she was going for, I guess.
Well, she did a good job. 800-447-7234. Here's what we're thinking. The things that your parents or maybe you have saved throughout the years of the childhood.
Yeah, Tiffany texted and said, my grandma still has my dad's old cast from when he broke his arm when he was a kid.
Grandma.
That thing is smelly
Really?
after
Right? But all the signatures on it?
Yeah, it's very
That's what I'm
cool.
thinking.
Sharon said, I have recently given my kids the outfits that they wore home from the hospital. I love that.
No way. Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I have Taylor's, my daughter's outfit that she wore home, too. So that's very cool. Tess texted and said, I still have my first movie ticket. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. And then she said, okay, it was from Iron Man 2. And I was 3 months old.
Oh, really, Tess? Great.
She's 11 years old now, and she and her sister are in the car listening to us. So Tess and Lola, thank you so much.
They even sent a picture.
Yes, they did. They're
Beautiful.
So cute.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Karami is here at 800-447-7234. What is it for you?
Christmas ornament. My mom, when we were in kindergarten, we always used to make Christmas ornaments every year all throughout elementary school, and she has kept every single one, and she still, to this day, I'm 23, and she still puts them on our tree.
What is your favorite one she has on the tree of yours that you made?
It's like a glitter handprint of mine. It's so little, but it's so cute.
What do you remember about making it?
I just remember always loving Christmas and doing the little arts and crafts during school and stuff. That was my favorite time of the year.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Tom Brady, quarterback, Super Bowl. You know the guy. His dad was on a radio talk show.
Yeah.
And the radio talk show asked them, so how does your son feel about this? And so he said, well, this is how my son feels. Mm-hmm. Well, Tom Jr. was like, Dad,
that's privy to
come on, dude. No. He even wrote this. This is so funny. It's really quick. He said, so furthermore, should Tom Sr. continue to speak out on the behalf of his son without the express written consent? Tom Jr. reserves the right to eventually put him in a home against his will. So he had a sense of humor about it. It's like, Dad, you're embarrassing me. Dude, come on. And then had a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, don't do that. So my mom embarrassed me so bad. This has been years ago. I think the boys were little. I went in to have, I'm just going to be honest, hair removal treatment.
Okay.
Right?
I'm not going to ask, but
No.
go ahead.
Mom was along for the ride. And I typically will just take her in with me because she's fun. We, chat, hang out. She, in her mind, thinks we're at a doctor's office and starts to ask the technician, the hair removal technician, things of a more personal nature that you would ask about your daughter at a doctor's office. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Mom,
not now, Mom. You don't know where we are. This is not a doctor.
She's just working on my upper lip here. Oh, I mean, yeah.
Oh, we know now.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Poor Tom Brady, he said, my dad just embarrassed me because he spoke for me on my behalf in a sports-related talk show.
Yeah.
But he had fun with it. He's, it's not like, Dad, it's those roll your eyes moments. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Liz said her mom embarrassed her at what she thought was the doctor's office. It wasn't really a doctor's office, but she was asking about personal things.
To a technician for a hair removal.
Mm-hmm. Kind of happens. You roll your eyes. Embarrassing things happen in a variety of different ways. Morgan is here at 800-447-7234. Embarrassing moment you had, Morgan. What was it?
I work at a food place, and we have bags of chips, and recently, we've been getting some defected bags of chips where it's just the seasoning clumps up in the bags. And a couple of times we've had a couple customers come up and they just have the most disgusted look on their face because they don't know what it is. And I've had that happen to me before, and I know it's just the seasonings clumping up. But you should see the look on these people's faces. They look like they will never eat at the place again.
I know, right? I had a friend who had a spider in their salad. That was kind of embarrassing, especially for the restaurant that we were at.
Oh, I'm sure. How do you react to that? Well, it happens. No, it shouldn't.
Yeah,
it really shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it kind of does. So, but I'm thinking protein.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
And I think everybody is aware, I know that I am, of how jobs are in high demand right now. Well, there's fewer people that are looking for jobs, and there's more jobs available, right?
Right.
So there's staffing shortages. Even in our schools, even in like the food service industry in the schools, Mitchell Elementary School is one of those. They have 400 kids. They need to feed those 400 kids. They don't have enough people working in the cafeteria to feed those 400 kids. So what the principal did last week, he called and ordered pizza.
Hey, yeah,
Kids
get
were
some
like,
Dominoes.
Yeah, exactly. They said they had some issues with some of the employees. Honestly, they didn't feel well, so they're told to stay home.
Yeah, well, you've got to do that. You don't want to infect everybody with a virus.
Makes sense. So then they had people that they just can't fill the positions. And so he said, the principal said, I had to feed our children, and this is a way that I knew that we could do it. And I don't know if they ordered them all from the same restaurant or a couple, because that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of pizzas.
It's a lot of pizza.
Yeah, so I would
They were cheering for that principal.
Oh, they
Can you hear the
were.
lunchroom? I hear the lunchroom in my head. Woo!
I know.
And it's not the cardboard pizza that's made at the school.
No.
Well, let me back up. That's not the way it is now. But it was when I was in school. Pizza was cardboard.
I loved the pizza because you always got pizza on Friday, right? And a corn. You got corn.
Pizza and corn.
Which makes no sense, and it was delicious.